Hello everybody and welcome to the stream! Oh gosh, I am so excited for today! I hope everybody's doing well today. Hope you're having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it might be. I have been waiting for this stream for so long. I've had this as an idea for like a really long time now, and I'm so glad that I finally get to enact on it and finally get to do it. And oh my gosh. It took a lot more effort than I thought it was going to be. It was a lot of like making the same file over and over and over again. Which is fine because I wanted it to be like a really nice end product and I want it to be really nice and polished for you guys, so it was worth it and I'm very happy with how it turned out. But goodness gracious, it did take a while for me to actually set up and get going. So hold on just one second, I need to take a sip of water. Okay. So, let me find the right thing so I don't accidentally skip over something that I'm not supposed to. So, this is our bingo card, and what I'm planning on doing is that for each space that gets revealed with the little slideshow that I have, then one of the like squares that I have covered up with a different color right now will disappear and then show the person's face. And I was debating back and forth whether to go in like a random order, like with different random spaces all over the board, but that already turned out to be a lot of effort, just like going from like the very top left corner to get all the way down to the bottom right corner. So I did them all in order, but if you want to put in more time and effort, if anybody else wants to take this idea and run with it, you certainly can do it like completely random and do it more, I guess, traditional bingo style, where you're like calling out random ones. But I figured if it's to like share a bingo sheet with you guys, we can just go in order, and it's more or less just an excuse for me to talk about all my favorite characters. I know normally I save Saturday and Sunday as like Zatsu Day, and this week I'm doing this, and I'm doing some Stardew Valley tomorrow night. We'll see what ends up being preferred for you guys, if you prefer having like a little activity stream like this, or if you prefer like just having the weekly Zatsu, or if you prefer just whatever it might be, and we'll figure out which one's best and which one works best for everyone in chat. But I figured, since I've been thinking about doing this for a while and I finally got around to making it and doing it, I really wanted to share it with you guys for this week specifically. So I hope you guys all enjoy it and have a fun time getting to sit back with me and let me gush about all of my favorites and just chill out and have a good time. So, without further ado, we will get started. I have my phone in the background to pull up any fun little tidbits of information that I want to share with the different characters that I have on this little slideshow. So, let's get started with character number 1. If I were to describe this character, he would probably be my all-time number 1 favorite guy, because all of my friends definitely know this character because of how much I just subject them to content about this specific character. Numero uno is Julian Dvorak. So, Julian is known from the, I guess you'd call it a dating game. It's called The Arcana, and he is one of the main characters and main love interests in the game. Originally, the game had 3 love interests, and later on they expanded to 6. But he was one of the original 3, and I mean, just look at him. I adore this man so much. He goes by a couple different names. He's known as Julian most of the time, but he's also known as Ilya and Ilyushka by his sister, and also known as Dr. Jules because he is a plague doctor. Basically, what happens in the game is he was accused of Count Lucio's murder, and he subsequently fled to escape his death sentence, but he has since returned to the city of Vesuvia, and all of the love interests and all the main characters in the game are based off of different tarot cards. So his patron arcana is the Hanged Man. He is not only like super suave. Well, I shouldn't say he's super suave. he's still a little clumsy every now and again. But he does his best to be like a very suave and charismatic person. He is he's one of those characters that is also a hot mess. I don't believe it was in this scene that this specific image came from, but in this image he's in like his most frequented bar that he goes to all the time, and there is a scene where he's like really upset and like downtrodden, and he's like 5 or 6 drinks in, and he's just a complete mess of a man. And he does the whole thing where he feels like he doesn't deserve a lot of different things in his life. He feels like he doesn't deserve to have, since the player character is a romantic interest, like, he doesn't feel like he deserves to have them in his life or be treated with any amount of kindness. He tries to take on all of his problems by himself because he doesn't like asking help from other people. Like, all of that kind of thing, and I just eat that shit up. Oh gosh, I love characters of his type. They're so good, and when they're well written, they're well written. I will say, I haven't touched the game in a very long time, and I have heard that some of the writing for the game has changed since, including ones that were previously written. They had like edited it a little bit, so I don't know how much of his character has changed, but I will say, like, the first few encounters that I had with him in the very beginning, when like the game was still being updated and things were like constantly like being written to add on to the story, but those first few chapters that were already like pre-written to like get the game off the ground were incredible, and I loved them so much. Some of the later game stuff was not really to the same amount of pacing that I would have preferred, and I wish they would have expanded a little bit more on him as a character, but overall, there's something about his personality and just the way that he is that I love. Here, I can pull up some more information on him. He is a very dramatic and theatrical person, and he has a lot of fun, like, improvising certain things and just being, like, a very funny, charismatic, theatrical kind of person. Some people see him as a little overdramatic, but that's something that I can deal with. He's very self-sacrificing. again, he struggles with accepting help from other people, and he always like dives headfirst into dangerous situations with the guise of like protecting somebody else in his life, because he does have like his little sister who he cares so deeply about. He's a very protective person. Even though he was technically a condemned criminal, he was reportedly loved by a majority of the public because of how like magnetic and charming of a person that he was. He did previously have a romance with one of the other characters that you can romance, and that said character said that he is able to excite others with ease and make them feel special, but this character implies this is because Julian is a little bit selfish or manipulative. And even though that that particular character kind of frowns upon the player character if they do choose Julian as a love interest, Julian doesn't actually have any ulterior motives at the end of the day, and he just genuinely cares about the player character during, like, if you play his romantic route. He does have a little bit of self-loathing issues, and he tends to shut out the people that are important to him, even if he knows that he needs the help. But I don't know. There's something about that, and like it's the it's the whole I can fix him mentality. Cause like at least in that case, it's not really like the worst thing in the world. Like there are worse atrocities to commit. but you know, like it is something that is fixable, like showing someone how deserving of love that they are and like really proving it to them. Because it, at least for me and in my set of skills, I think it's a lot easier to be able to show someone kindness and gentleness and love and have them open up about that than trying like to fix the other way if like someone is very like narcissistic, I guess. Like that, for me and my skill set, that's a very difficult thing to try and tackle. But like having the door open for gentleness and kindness and like showing someone of how deserving they are is a very like, I don't know, that's like something that's very ingrained in me, and I would like to believe that that's something that other people have found within me. So I love him so much, especially because he he has like such a dramatic and theatrical way of like presenting himself to others, but then he gets so flustered by even like slight romantic instances or like any like ounce of affection that is shown to him. It's the immediate switch of confidence. It gets me every time. I love it so much. So that is Julian, and I love him so much. Character number 2 is Meringue from Animal Crossing. I do not even need to pull up like an informational sheet for her. I saw her character design and it is peak character design, and I knew that I had to have her. I already knew. She is so darn cute. I think her villager type is just like neutral. It's the same as Goldie and Gala and a couple other different villagers in Animal Crossing, where they're just like sweet, they're kind of like bookwormy, they love cooking, they love just like all the basic nice things in life that you can find, just like the simple pleasures. And she's just so cute. Like her whole outfit design of her like being a chef, I feel that because I love cooking and I think that's really cute. And just being a rhino and the strawberry horn, and she's pink, and oh my goodness, I just love her. Out of all the character designs in Animal Crossing, I just think that she is so cute. She is my number one dreamy villager, and I love her so much. I'm trying to think what other villagers I have on my island. I think personality-wise, I can go in between, what's it? I think they're called like snooty villagers. Like Anka is a snooty villager. I have her. And I also have, Vivian. I love Vivian. She, like, fabulous. Slay. I think she is so darn cute. I have like one sporty villager, but like just like the normal, like they're the nicest to have conversations with. Just like you hear about them talking about all the books that they love and like all the new recipes they want to try, and when they send you like mail, it's just, they're so sweet. I love them so much, and I always have so much fun whenever I get to talk to any of them. So she is number 2 on my list. I love her design so much. I love who she is. She is a little sweetheart. I will make a public confession and say that I paid actual United States dollars to have her on my island. Before I figured out what Nookazon was, I just needed to have her, so I purchased her as a villager. I do not regret a single cent because she pays for like every penny of those dollars that I spent. And I just love her so much. So she is up on the board. Character number 3 is from one of our ongoing games right now. It's Tejal. She was probably one of the first vampire characters that I came across. I guess with the exception of like classic Dracula, but everybody hears about like Dracula as the first instance of like vampires in media when you're like first learning about, I don't know, like creatures and stuff. And like ever since I had encountered her in like my youth when like I was very impressionable, she just always stuck. I just love her attitude, the way like the back and forth between her and her husband, the fact that she cares so much about just this one little human girl who she knows that she has a lot of power. Whether or not Mel realizes the amount of power she holds is a different story, but she, like, her whole design is iconic. I mean, how can you not love her? She's one of the strongest characters that you get when you're first starting off the game, because, like, if you're not, well, when you start off the game with just Mel, they're, like, what? Like, maybe level 5, level 6 characters. She's, like, level 18 or 19. She's a strong archer. She has, like, abilities that are very, very useful when you're in combat. And just, like, I don't know, just the way that she carries herself, I love it. She is an excellent vampire character, and I just love seeing her. I know that she has a lot more history in the game than even I, like, am currently, like, sharing with you guys, because I actually haven't touched a lot of the games where she showed up, like, initially for the very first time. Maybe we'll get to those. I want to finish just, like, the series with Mel first, because that's the series that I actually ended up playing the most. Also, hello and welcome to the chat! it! Mew Lufa? I hope I'm saying that right. We're playing favorite character bingo, where I just gush about all of my favorite characters. So yeah, I think Tejal fits the bill for all of the great vampire tropes and like the whole like, I don't want to say underground society, but like the secret society of vampires and the aristocracy of it. And she's a badass, and I mean, how can you not love her? I love her so much. So she's up on the board. That's probably the best picture I could find of her. I know there are other pictures of her, but that's what I got for right now. I believe I remember who was in position number 4. It is... yeah, it's Remy! Out of all of the Disney Pixar films, I have watched Ratatouille the most amount of times. I absolutely adore the movie Ratatouille. It is probably my favorite movie of all time. There are a couple that get pretty close, but I've just watched Ratatouille so many times, and a lot of the themes and characters and whatnot that happen in Ratatouille just, they hit home with me. So Remy is one of my favorite characters, because it's not only his love of cooking and his love of like, just like his passion for it, but you can tell that he cares about his family, and he does love his family a lot, even though it can be a frustrating experience for him because of like his attitude towards certain things versus the way that the rest of his family sees like how certain things should be or how certain things are. And somebody at some point, I'm pretty sure it was on Tumblr, did some sort of analogy where it felt like Remy was like a closeted person. Like, he has to act one way when he's around his family, but then he has to act a totally different way when he's around the humans. And like, he gets to do the thing that he loves when he's with the humans, but he's also not fully himself or connected when like he's with them. And it's only when he's with his family where he can feel he can be open and honest, but he also can't act upon all of the things that make him happy when he's with his family. So the dichotomy of having to like live those two different lives, but then in the end, like having his family come around and like support him in his decision, and not only just his family, but like the humans that care so much about him. I mean, specifically Linguini, but you know, like finally having that life that he wants to live, where he's not only like, he doesn't have to decide between family or passion. He gets to be just who he is. And he's, you know, he's a rat who loves to cook. Who doesn't love that? Plus, I just love cooking. I love cooking so much, so it's always a very fun movie to watch. And I love, like, the French culture, because I think it's really interesting, and I can speak French. And even just, like, the subplots are funny. It's, like, not too long of a movie. I love it. I don't think I can speak any more on it. So Remy is up on the board, and that was a very cute picture of him. I really like that picture of him. In our number 5 spot, we have Gakupo, and I know So I showed this to my one friend the other day. I just sent like the full bingo board, and he referred to Gakupo as like the character that he's playing in this specific picture. And I was like, no, I just picked this picture because I think it's a nice picture of Gakupo. And he was like, okay, good, because if you meant the actual character, he's not a good person. So I don't mean Gakupo as Lord Venomania. I mean Gakupo as literally just the Vocaloid Gakupo. I just really liked this picture, so I used it. But out of all the different Vocaloids that are available, I just have always felt compelled and like I've always enjoyed Gakupo's voice the most. I mean, it gives it merit that his actual like voice provider is a popular Japanese artist, like singing wise, so it makes sense that his singing voice I absolutely eat up. I love his singing voice so much. But even just like his character design, the purple hair, the whole samurai thing, I love it. I think it's a really interesting design. Don't get me wrong, because I do love like Miku and the original squad, and just like they really lean into the whole like, well, they're vocal synthesizers, so they're kind of like more tech oriented like designs, and I don't want to say they're more robotic, but there was just something specific about Gakupo, and I love him so much. And I love seeing whenever there's one specific person on YouTube that covers a lot of popular Vocaloid songs but uses one of like Gakupo's like V Power or V Whisper or whatever it is to like do covers of those songs, and they're so good. They're like incredible. So I love his voice, and I cannot gush about him as a Vocaloid enough. So he goes on the board. Plus I had a very, very big Vocaloid phase growing up, and it has cemented its way into like a permanent position in my life. So I will always have a special place for Gakupo in my heart. He is my favorite Vocaloid, even if he's not in any of the Project Divas that I own, which is very, very upsetting, but I can't do anything about that. Anyway, moving on, position number 6 is Miltank. Miltank is my favorite Pokemon. Oh my goodness. I don't know what else to say. They are so cute. What's not cute about a pink cow? They're adorable. And I remember like the very first time I had seen Miltank, because I was playing, what was it? I think it was Pokemon Platinum, because Pokemon Platinum was my first Pokemon game. And in one of the areas, I came across a Miltank, and I freaked, because they are just so darn cute. I love them so much. I don't know if I ever shared this with you guys, but when I was growing up, I actually lived really close to a dairy farm, and like every now and again, my family would just go and like say hi to the owner and just walk around and say hi to the cows. And like she knew who we were, so she was totally chill with it. We were allowed to just walk around and do whatever. She didn't mind. And like there's a special area for all like the baby cows. They each had their own little stall, and we would like feed them and pet them, and they would lick us, and they were so cute. And then we would see like the big cows, and they would try to like lick our faces. And I love cows, man. I really love cows, and that's like a core memory from my childhood. So when I saw a cow Pokemon, I freaked it, and I just think they're so cute. So Miltank is up on the board. Miltank is my favorite Pokemon, and I will not be taking any questions. Okay, hold on. I need a sip of water. I'm talking a lot. Okay. Character number 7 is Komishoko. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys have seen this anime yet. It's called Koumi Can't Communicate. I randomly saw the Netflix trailer for it when it was only just about to be like started on Netflix. It just showed up on like my YouTube feed at some point, and I watched it and I was like, holy crap, this looks so darn cute. And I love the premise of it so much. I had never read the manga beforehand. Like, some of the people in the comments were talking like, oh my god, we finally get an anime for it. And like, I didn't even realize there was this dedicated of a fan base for it. But oh my goodness. I have rewatched season 1 so many times. I put it on in the background as like a comfort thing now, because I think it's just so cute and so charming of an anime that I just want to share it with everyone. Because the premise, for people who don't know, is the guy who's right behind me. His name is Tadano, and he goes into starting high school, and he's like, I don't want to cause like any big of a fuss. I don't really want to be noticed too much. I don't want to like really do too much of anything. I just want to get through high school and then be done with it. But when he's there, he sees this beautiful classmate of his named Koumi, and everybody's like staring at her, admiring her, fangirling over her, and she says not a single word, and everyone's like, oh, she's perfect, like she can't do any wrong in anybody's eyes. And Tadano's like, oh, she is really pretty. I'm never gonna have like a chance with her. I'm never gonna speak with her. Like, it's just never gonna happen. And he ends up being seated right next to her in class, and like this whole friendship forms because he's the only one who took the time to realize, hey, like, you can't, like, you have a lot of trouble talking to other people. Is everything okay? And she, like, pours her heart out to him, being like, I feel like everyone hates me. Like, everybody just stares at me all the time. I don't have any friends. I don't talk to anybody. And then at the end of pouring her heart out, she's like, just forget it. Like, it's nothing. Like, I can deal with it. And then he's like, no, let me help you. And they form this friendship, and like he asks her like, well, what do you want to accomplish? And she's like, I want to have like 100 friends before the school year ends. And it's his goal to like try and make her all of these new friends. And like she writes out everything she wants to say on a little notebook because she's still too afraid to speak. And she's, oh my gosh, I love her so much. She is such a sweetheart, and it's just such a feel-good anime. And just showing like this blooming, blossoming relationship between those two, and then like all of the friends that she gets to have, because everybody wants to be her friend too, but she was so convinced that like, no, everybody hates me and like doesn't like me, and he's trying so hard to be like, no, everybody really likes you and wants to be your friend. Oh my gosh. I want to show this anime to everyone. I love her so much. She's just such a little sweetheart. I love her so much. It fuels something deep within my soul, and I just want to share it with the world. So she's on the list. I love her very much. Both of the pictures that I picked for her are very beautiful pictures, but she's even cuter when she's just doing like her big like cat face that she does with the ears. Oh, when she's like being like a little dorky. Oh my god, I love her so much. Guys, I love her so much. Oh my gosh. So if you have Netflix, I highly recommend you watch Komi Can't Communicate. It's probably on Crunchyroll too, but wherever you can find it, I highly recommend you watch it. I love it so much. What number are we on? Number 8, I think? So, character number 8 is Suki from Avatar: The Last Airbender. This one was actually a little bit hard for me to figure out who exactly my favorite character was. Because I was going back and forth for the longest time on like, well, who exactly is my favorite character? But I gave it some thought and I settled on Suki. When you first meet her, she's with the Kyoshi Warriors. They're just kind of stopping in the area for a little while, and she is dedicated to her craft. She is dedicated to the people within her village and in her life, and she wants nothing more than to, like, continue the legacy of the Kyoshi Warriors and to be there for her people. And when this little guy comes along and is just being sexist and acting the way that he is, she whips him right into shape. And she ends up like falling in love with him. Now, I know that Sokka obviously had Princess Yue for a little while, but I think Princess Yue more or less taught him like to be a better person in general, so that one day when he is like more mature and can get to like really like learn how to build a relationship, that he can be successful within those relationships. Because Princess Yue was kind of like a doomed from the start character, but with Suki, all she wants to do is protect the people that she cares about, and she goes through so many different ways of doing so. Like, even ending up in the prison and, like, meeting Sokka there by chance and still managing to, like, get out and continue to help in whatever way she can to try and stop the, like, ongoing war. She's just such an honorable character in her own right, and like, I adore her. I adore her so much for everything she does. And she is a very excellent person to, I guess, like, I don't want to say end up with Sokka, but to, like, show Sokka what it's like to have, like, a healthy, meaningful relationship. There is no better choice than Suki, and I adore her as a character, so she goes up on the board. We stan a queen. Character number 9 is Gohin Sensei from Beastars. I don't know if I should be calling him Sensei. Well, I mean, technically he is like a doctor, so I guess it's not the worst thing to call him. But, you know. For anyone who's read Beastars, if you know, you know. This was also a little bit hard for me to pick because Beastars is one of my favorite animes of all time, and I love all of the characters for a lot of different reasons. So it was hard for me to pick what my favorite character was, but I feel like Gohin is so integral in letting Legoshi become the man that he is, that I couldn't ignore just how, like, powerful of an impact that he had and how important he was as a character, that it was easy for him to become one of my favorite characters. Some of the other ones, it took a little bit longer for them to come around in my head, but he's a good guy. Trying to think. I also just love his character design. the fact that he is as powerful of a creature in the manga and in the show as he is, without the use of eating meat, because eating meat is a big no-no in the series if you ever like get into it, and that he can have that kind of like physique and power and control just from being a panda who eats bamboo. And he's like, he has a very strong moral code, but he's also like not inherently an asshole either. He can really like come off as standoffish in the beginning, and even just in general, he is like a very standoffish person. But when it comes to like him trying to help the people that he helps recover from eating meat and having to go from that like sort of life back into like normal society, and like providing medication, providing therapy, and those kind of like treatments for like who he calls his patients, because they are patients. It's really wonderful how he's like, I don't want to call him like an anti-hero, but he kind of is in a way. Like, he's not a hero in the way of like Legoshi wanting to like apprehend bad people and like wanting to be a pillar of like what it means to be a good citizen in the world. But in Gohin's case, he's just trying to help people in whatever way he can. And in some of those ways, it has to be a little bit more strict, and it can end up in like some bouts of violence, and it can end up like not being an ideal situation, but it's the hand that he's dealt with kind of thing. It's like, it's honorable, and the way that he acts in the show and in the manga, like, I really love his character. And like the fact that his character is no pun intended, he's not a very black and white character. Like, there is a lot of gray morality that happens. He has a very strict moral code that he follows, and he helps all of these different patients, but, you know, using violence and like his history with a family that he had to leave behind in order to continue this line of work, all of those different things like make him a wonderful character in terms of like just like not being so like, I'm the good guy, I'm the bad guy. Because he tries to be a good person in the way that he understands good people to be, and in the area and in the situation that he's living in. So you can't really be like perfectly 100% like morally like a perfect person in that kind of society anyway. And he just does his best to help people get back onto the right track. And he makes sacrifices like during that period and like in those circumstances that he has. So I really admire him as a character. I think he is a wonderful character, and he helps like a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, it's not that people don't give him enough credit, because he definitely deserves all the credit that he gets. But, you know, we focus a lot on the main characters. We focus on Legoshi and Haru and Louis, but there is something to be said about Gohin, because he does a lot for Legoshi, like in terms of like consistently over time. So he is up on the board. I need to pause just for a second, and I will be right back. Where's all my stuff? Okay. Is that correct? Maybe? No? Oh, I don't even have it set up. Okay, hold on. I got this. Hold on. Existing. I'm still here. I'm just fixing something. I promise. I'm here. Bum, bum, bum. What else was I doing? Okay. Okay, I got this. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm here, I promise. Sorry about that. What is happening with my mouse? Okay, fine, I'm good. Sorry, now I need to fix a couple things. First, the 1 second I come back, then everything starts to crumble. Okay. Okay. Character number 10 is Princess Daisy. Favorite Mario character of all time. I love her so much. Where Princess Peach is a lot more of the traditional princess or damsel type of character, I like the fact that Princess Daisy kind of flips it on its head a little bit, and she's a lot more I don't want to say she's more sporty than Peach, but she doesn't fit the bill of a traditional princess in anything except appearance. Because appearance-wise, yes, she is a very traditional, like, princess design, but she has so much more, like, personality, I guess, in a way, and I think she's so funny and so sweet, and I love her so much. Like, when I had first, my very first Mario game was Mario Party for the Nintendo DS, and I just love her. I play her in, like, everything that she is, like, in. Well, with the exception of Smash. I know I used her picture from Smash too, but I think in Smash I normally play as like Isabella just because otherwise like you don't have the chance to play as Isabella in any other game. So I just always tend to use her the most. But in every Mario game that exists, if Daisy is an option, I'm picking Daisy. I love Daisy so much. I just think she's so much fun. And like, I don't want to say that Princess Peach is fragile, but where most princesses would probably be like a lot more dainty or a lot more careful about things, it feels like Daisy just isn't afraid to be herself and to act goofy and funny and dance around and like not have to like change her voice or anything to be more demure or anything. She is so like loudly and proudly herself, and I love that about her. She's just such a funny girl, and I love her so much. So she's on the list. Favorite Mario character. I love Princess Daisy. Character number 11 is Marceline the Vampire Queen. We got our number 2 vampire on the list. There is another vampire on the list. I love vampire characters. I can't help it. I especially love Marceline. Not only do I love her whole deal of like her backstory with like her mom, her strained relationship with her dad, the whole like trying to be immortal with all of this trauma, but like having so many other human-like characteristics that it's not as simple as just being a vampire. And she has so much humanity to her, and she's still sprung into this position where she has to like be certain ways for certain people, and having to deal with the aftermath of a broken relationship with Princess Bubblegum and rebuilding that relationship through becoming more mature and like really caring about the other person, and like not even just like the whole sapphic love thing, because of course I love her because she's gay. Who doesn't? But like she shows so much tenderness for being someone who is immortal, and even trying out mortality and seeing what that would be like, and like ending up still choosing immortality in the end anyway, because of wanting to be with the person that she cares about and her circumstances and like all those different things. She wants to fix so much. She wants to make sure that all of the people in her life like have the chance to be the people who they are and be the best version of who they can be. Oh my gosh, I love Marceline so much. And just like her whole vibe, her whole aesthetic, living in her little house and like playing her bass guitar axe and running around with Finn because like she enjoys it and she has fun, and just living her life. Like not even like the whole like pressure of all the different things going on in her life can take away the fact that like she just still wants to have fun and be with the people that she cares about. I love her. I love her so much as a character. And you would think she would be a lot more dark and broody and scary, but in reality, like, she's the soft one who wants to do soft things with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend's like the mad scientist, cold, hard, calculated type. I eat that shit up. Like the difference between aesthetic and like personality, oh my god, I love it so much. So she's on the list. I thought this was a very cute picture of her, and the little tile that I picked is also a very cute picture of her. She's just a very cute girl. I love her a lot. Character number 12 is Harleen Quinzel, Harley Quinn. She has been one of my favorite characters of all time for a very, very, very long time. I just can't resist her. She has a lot of similar qualities as to why I love Marceline in the same way of why I love her. She is very well educated. She was in a field and she was working a very, very good job. Got into the wrong crowd, fell in love with the wrong person. Whole world turned topsy-turvy for a man who didn't even love her, even though she was convinced that he did. And the subsequent, figuring that out and deciding to remove herself from that situation, whether by her own choice or by force of somebody who actually cared deeply enough about her, and becoming a better person all around for it. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about Gotham Knights as well, but in Gotham Knights, it's they're going even further with her character. So this is classic Harley. This was when they made the Mad Love comic, her very, very first appearance in the comics. Her first appearance was in the animated show, and they just introduced her as a henchman, and then everyone fell in love with her. Cause I mean, how can't you? Look at her. Just look, she's gorgeous. Everything about her design, the way that she acts, she's a heartthrob. I love her so much. And the comics and a lot of the older content focus on her being with the Joker. And recently, if any of you guys have HBO Max, she has her own TV series, and that's shortly after leaving the Joker and getting out of her relationship with the Joker and starting a relationship with Ivy. There's also the whole Suicide Squad thing that happens, but I think it's a video game they're making. I don't remember if it's a video game or if it's some sort of series that they're writing. Gotham Knights takes place a lot further in the future, where she decides to become her own completely decked out, from bottom up supervillain, because she has the skills, she has the connections, and her design is immaculate. I love her design for Gotham Knights. If you guys search it up, you will see. Obviously, this is a very classic Harley design. I love the way that Margot Robbie portrays her and all the different DC movies with Harley. I actually have her the Birds of Prey jacket, the one with the yellow caution tape and the pink and blue and sparkly streamers, the clear vinyl jacket. I have that and I own it and I love it very, very much. And just even that design, where instead of the classic red and black, it's the pink and blue, and just her being a bad bitch running around wrecking shop. I love everything about Harley. She has been one of my favorite characters of all time, and she will continue to be one of my favorite characters of all time. Because she, very similar to how I was talking about Gohin, she is not, a black and white character. And I'm okay with basically every iteration of her, where, she's still going through the shit that Joker is putting her through, or she's learns to heal either on her own accord or by the accord of someone else. And just all of her different iterations. Does she want to become a good guy? Does she want to be an anti-hero? Does she want to be a supervillain? And like all of those different routes, whatever route she decides to take, I love every iteration of her. I think she's fantastic. So she's on the list. The picture here I used is of classic Harley Quinn, and the little icon I used of her is the one of like in the new show with Haley Cuoco as her voice actress. Love her. I adore her work on the show. The show is just so good. If you guys haven't watched the show, you guys should definitely watch the show. So Harley Quinn's on the list. I think we're on 13. Character 13 is Elliot from Stardew Valley. Oh my goodness. Growing up and getting Stardew Valley and playing Stardew Valley a lot when I was in high school, one of my friends and I like had sat down and started listing out like certain characters that we felt very strongly about or that we loved and adored a lot. And not only had I brought up Elliot in the conversation, but I had also brought up Julian, and this specific friend said the words to me that, quote unquote, my type of men were men who you would find on the cover of romance novels at the grocery store. So I love long-haired, romantic, like, all of the like sweet pet names like darling, my beloved, my love, whatever it might be. Also, hello, welcome to the chat, LBB, hi. We are going through all of my favorite characters right now, and we are on Elliot from Stardew Valley, and I'm gushing. There's something about like very charismatic characters, like super romantic literature vibes. I mean, I love long hair on guys. Long hair on guys is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And like, just like the charisma, the gentleness, the sweetness, the courting, like the gift giving of like not necessarily expensive gifts, but like very meaningful gifts. Like they take the time to learn your favorites and find the perfect gift for you. Like those kind of guys I absolutely adore. So Elliot is always my go-to in Stardew. I can't help it. I love him just oh so dearly that he had to go on the list. He is my favorite candidate, marriage candidate. I'm from Brazil, so I don't understand much. That's okay. That's okay. I'm mostly just talking about my favorite characters, but thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. So Elliot is on the list. I adore him. I adore him a whole lot. I love him so much. Character 14 is Josuke Higashikata. I don't know if I had mentioned it to you guys before or not that I do enjoy JoJo. I think I might have mentioned it like once or twice that I'm a JoJo fan. But I'm not done yet, so no spoilers. But JoJo, out of all the JoJos, I think Josuke is my favorite. From what I understand and from what has been told to me, when Araki was writing Jotaro, he wanted to write a delinquent but like a little lovable. But with Jotaro, it ended up being a lot more like the cold, calculated type. Still delinquent, but you know, it didn't have like the tender side to him. So when he got to write Josuke, it's still like the delinquent vibes, but in like placed in a very like genuinely sweet, kind, loving boy. So even though he can be a delinquent and get into trouble, and he's friends with like Okuyasu and, you know, does all of the fun like little skipping school things or whatever it might be, he does really like love his family, care about his family, show kindness to other people, and just he is like a very good person. Josuke is like just an incredibly lovable character. I love everything about him. I think he's very funny. I think he's very sweet. I think like my next favorite JoJo might be Joseph, because Joseph is very goofy, and you can definitely see how it rubs off on Josuke. Josuke acts a lot like Joseph in a lot of different ways, but yeah, I love Josuke. I do love part 4. I think part 4 is my favorite part so far. Obviously, I haven't finished it. I'm on part 5. I need to start part 5, but if I were to guess what my next favorite JoJo would be, I do really like Jolene just in terms of design, but I haven't gotten to her, so I don't know how she actually acts as a character. But for right now, Josuke Higashikata, my favorite JoJo. I love him to bits and pieces. He's going on the board. We are on character 15? 15. Character number 15 is the genial magician from Sunless Sea. I highly doubt that anybody knows who he is. You would have to be a Sunless Sea nerd like I am. We will be playing that on stream at some point whenever I'm able to get that running at the same time as me streaming. So hopefully we'll be able to do that at some point in the future. But he is one of the engineer characters that you can recruit onto your ship. I think he has a very interesting story that you can follow. Obviously, like, depending on how you play the game, what your points are, a lot of different things can, like, show in his personality, so it all depends. Even though I don't understand everything, I'll do my best to watch your live. Sorry if I missed something. I'm using Google Translate. That's okay! I'm just happy you're here. Thank you so much. It's okay. I'm just rambling anyway. It's okay. But yeah, depending on how you play the game, his personality, varies, like, pretty significantly, but I think he's a very interesting character, and you can pursue him as a love interest if you want, and, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, of course, but he does have the potential to be a very excellent lover. So he's one of my favorites. I love him so much. And I feel like I just had to give a nod to Sunless Sea because it's one of my favorite games. So he's on the list. Love him, love him, love him. 16 is Queenie from Deltarune. I picked a really good picture of her. We haven't played this on the channel yet. We will play it at some point because I want to play through Undertale and then I want to play through Deltarune with you guys. She is one of the villain characters in Deltarune in Chapter 2. She is so hilarious. I love her so much because she's just so funny. And one of the things that I also love about her is, and these are spoilers, just in case anybody doesn't want to hear it. But, one of the characters sways her from her ways and like tells her what the consequences of being evil and continuing like her bad deeds, what that would affect in the world, and she immediately goes like, oh shit, I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, I'm not doing that anymore. So she like completely like changes route from being an evil character just because like she's faced with like the potential consequences of her actions. Thankfully, nothing happened and like she didn't have to face those consequences head on, but like just coming to the realization of what that might be, she was like, oh, no, I'm good actually. So I thought that was very cool of her character because she is just more of like a funny character. She didn't mind too much. In chapter 1, the villain was more like, well, this is the deed that must be done kind of thing. But she was just kind of acting bad, and then he was like, no, wait, you do understand what it means if you do this, right? And she was like, oh shit, no, I didn't realize. Fuck, I don't want to do that. So she changes tune pretty quickly, and I don't think I've seen a villain that went through something like that before, so I think it was pretty unique, and I liked it a lot. So she's on the list. Love her. She's so funny. Character 17? Gudetama! Gudetama is my favorite Sanrio character ever. I love Gudetama so much. If you guys were there for my Zatsu when I came back and I was showing the pictures from me going to my friend's wedding and my backpack was sitting on the bed with the keychain on it, that was a Gudetama keychain. The pouch where I keep all of my nail polish is a Gudetama pouch. I've been thinking about getting a Gudetama backpack before, and I almost bought one. I want to get a Gudetama plush at some point. I love all the Gudetama like blind box things. I have a little sticker booklet of him. I love Gudetama. He's so cute. So, favorite Sanrio character. I just think he's really cute and I wanted to share it with you guys. So he is on the list. I need to take a sip of water, sorry. Okay. I might need to drink hot tea after this because I'm talking a lot. But that's fine. Oh, what number character are we on? Character 18 is Artem Wing. Artem. I don't think I have any more Otome characters, so you guys don't have to worry, but he is one of the main love interests in Tears of Themis, and Tears of Themis is an Otome game by the same studio that made Genshin Impact. So they have a lot of resources and money to be making a good Otome game. He is just, oh my goodness, he is so handsome. I think he is just, he's very handsome. He's very, very handsome. The whole, like, I know in the game, two of the other characters are a lot more charismatic. Marius and, oh gosh, if I remember his name. He's the gray-haired one. His name starts with V. He's the professor. He's the psychology professor. but both of them are very charismatic in different ways. Like, Marius is a lot more teasing and like, I feel like more boyfriend-girlfriend kind of affectionate, whereas the professor is a lot more like cordial and like traditional types of courtship. And I do love both of them as well. But Artem is not only like a very handsome, well put together man, and I love that. He shows affection in the ways that he knows how, which are not very good. And I find that really, really charming in a way. You're laughing. Oh, that's very sweet. I'm glad you like my laugh. Artem can be very cold, but not on purpose. Like, he's kind of like a little kid in that way, where he doesn't really know how to show his emotions, but it's also like masked with like his dire need to be professional all the time in every aspect of everything he does. So when he does show affection, like, it's like you really have to work for it, and it's in very hidden ways. In one of the cards that I have for him, it's like you weren't feeling well, and he like drops everything to not only take you to the hospital, but also like make you like a quality meal of like hot soup to feel better. Like, he would never do that for anybody else under any circumstance. But like, the minute that you tell him that you're not feeling well, he is doting on you. He won't like, he's not the type to take you to like a fancy dinner and like flirt with you over like a meal and take you to a movie kind of thing. No. He's like very blunt. Like, you'll just be relaxing in your apartment and you hear a knock and like you open the door, you're like, oh, hi Artem, what are you doing here? And he's like, you know, like 3 weeks ago when you said that you wanted to do this thing and you really wanted to do it, but you didn't have anybody to go with? We're going now. I'm here. We're doing the thing to get like he's so blunt. I think it's so cute. And he's just, oh, he is so handsome. Guys, he is so handsome. So I just had to put him on the list. The picture I picked for him on the board is also really cute too. Oh my god, he's so cute. Guys, he's so cute. Anyway, before I lose myself. Number 19. Number 19 is Alucard from Castlevania. I have not finished the anime, so please don't spoil anything. Another very, very, very pretty boy. He tacks a lot of the things that I like in male characters. He's a vampire, so he's the third vampire on the list. He has the long flowing hair. He's a little bit dumb when it comes to understanding the way that certain things work because he's a very isolated person. So he's learning how to communicate with others and what it means to like have relationships with other people. He is so dashingly handsome. He has a very strong moral code and he wants to uphold it. He like has a lot of inner turmoil because of like the way that his family is and what's happening in the series. I love him. Oh my god, I fell in love. What a handsome... He is! He really is! he's so handsome. Hold on. I will type in chat his name so you can find more content of him. There you go. That is just for you, LBB. So you can find more content of this boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's just so good. How can you not love him? Also, I just love the dynamic that he has with just the main trio in general. Him and Belmont, like, going at it. Oh my god. He's such a good character. I love him. And like dealing with his challenges on his own, and then like how much stronger he becomes when he like doesn't have to be isolated as a person. You just love him. So how can you not? So Alucard is on the list. He's just such a pretty boy. Number 20 on the list is a fan favorite that I think a lot of people would agree with. It is Marin Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling. Sorry, the sapphic side of me is coming out. She is so darn cute. Oh my god. And I think in a way I feel very similarly about her the way that I feel about Komishoko, where she's popular, but she falls in love with the not so popular guy. Obviously for Shoko it's like a different setup and like different circumstances. Marin is very popular, very talkative, very outspoken. She's friends with a lot of different people, but she just ends up in a circumstance where she finds Gojo, and she's like, oh my god, he knows how to sew. Thanks for talking. I had no idea who it was. I just know it's beautiful. Of course, I am here to provide for you guys. I want to make sure you know how to find more of the handsome guy. So, like, Marin falls in love with Gojo, like, gradually. Like, before, in, like, the very beginning, it's more like Gojo is a teenage boy with teenage boy feelings, so obviously if there's gonna be a pretty girl like in his house wearing skimpy clothing, then it's kind of, yeah. But like she catches herself falling in love with him because of how genuine he is, how like passionate he is about his craft, how much he cares about like making her happy, even though like she's like not really doing anything in return besides like spending time with him or like offering to pay for certain things. Like she loves him because of just how genuinely himself he is, and he's not trying to pretend to be like a different person for like her sake. And when like she confronts him about like the one day when he was like embarrassing, like he felt embarrassed to like be seen around her or whatever because he's like, well, you're popular and I'm not. And she's like, I don't care about those things. You're my friend and I care about you. And like having that conversation, having that confrontation, just, they're such a lovely couple. And I haven't gotten super far into the series, so I don't know how they actually end up, but I wish them nothing but the best because I love them. I love them so much. So she is on the board. She is so cute, so sweet. And like, oh, her smile in that picture, she makes me so happy. I love her so much. She's so cute. Okay. Wait, we're on the home stretch now that we're on the last row. Let's see. Character 21 is Kim Kitsuragi from Disco Elysium. My goal now is to learn English fluently to watch your live. LB, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. That would make me very happy. Please, you don't have to though. You don't have to, but it would make me very happy. And that's very, very sweet of you. Thank you. Where was I? Oh gosh. This is Kim Kitsuragi from Disco Elysium. Another game that I'm planning to play on stream for you guys. It's a little bit more intense, so it depends because the content in it can be a little bit intense. But I think he's an amazing character. If you guys had ever heard when the creators were trying to like figure out just general character designs, they had drawn one single sketch of Kim and just all agreed like, yep, yeah, that's him. We don't need to do any editing. He's already perfect the way that he is, because he is. He really is. For those who don't know much about Disco Elysium, you basically wake up from like a drunken stupor as like a very sorry sap of a man, and when you make your way downstairs from the little like hotel that you're staying in, Kim is waiting for you in the lobby. He is he's a detective from a different precinct than you, but you guys are both working on a case to solve a murder, and Kim comes across initially as being pretty like the cold, calculated type, and the person that you play as is a lot more of like a sorry sap kind of type, and just like trying to do his best, but he really, really sucks at everything he does in an endearing way. I promise it's endearing. But like, as you move along and like you have moments of humanity between you and Kim, who is your detective partner in the case, like he opens up very, very slowly about like certain things, certain aspects of his life, who he is as a person, and he's just such a beautiful human being. A+ character. You couldn't have done better if you tried, kind of thing. He's so brilliant in who he is, and like I can't applaud the writers enough. He's a wonderful, wonderful character. And a lot of the things that happen in the game are just like it's a combination of like, what does it really mean to be human? And like, what if you're already too far gone? You can't be saved, but you can still try to be better for your own sake. Maybe you'll never be good enough for society. Maybe you'll never be good enough to get into heaven or fall in love or like accomplish like incredible feats. But you can still like take the time to show tenderness to other people. Take the time to want to be a better person. Take the time to like talk to the people around you, interact, and like genuinely try to make things right, even if they were already damned from the start. There's something very like visceral about the game, and especially between like the relationship that you, the player character, have with your partner Kim. It's incredible, and I can't wait to show that game to you guys. It is so, so good. So Kim Kitsuragi is on the board. I love you, Kim. You are incredible. Character number 22 is Howl Pendragon from Howl's Moving Castle. What a man. What a man. I was going back and forth for the longest time trying to decide between Howl from Howl's Moving Castle or Haku from Spirited Away, because I love both of their characters so much. But I think just because of like me being a romantic sap and loving romance and loving all of like the whole like sweeping her off her feet thing and like, oh, like I know what to do, find me in the future, and immediately being like, hello darling, oh my gosh, I love Howl so much. And just, oh my god. Again, he fills out so many of my favorite characteristic tropes. He has long hair, he is very charismatic, he's a little bit dramatic, but I like drama in a guy. I live for the drama. I love the drama. I need to have the drama, at least a little bit of the drama. So we got him. Just the relationship that he harbors with Sophie and like how it blooms from like Sophie being under her poor circumstances to like really understanding him as a person, and like him doing his best to try and like prevent or like go against the war and all of those different things. Oh, I fell in love again. It's hard not to fall in love with him. Hold on, I'll type it again. I got you. I got you. There you go. There you go. Yes, it's very easy to fall in love with him. I mean, just look at him. And he has so many different phases in the movie. Obviously, he starts off with the blonde phase and then goes into the black hair phase. It's just, he looks stunning in everything. He is so handsome. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, he's so handsome. How can you not love him? So Howl is up on the board. Oh, I remember these last two characters. I know who these last two characters are because we're already at the end. The middle gets all mixed up, but I know who's at the end here, so we're all good. Character number 23 is Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Guys, I need you guys to understand something, and I promise it's not just because I'm gay. I know that plays a very big factor in a lot of these characters. It's not just, being gay is not the only reason. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was one of the first movies I ever saw as a child, and it left a very big impression on me. And I fell in love with Jessica's character instantly. She was dressed beautifully. She is a very beautiful character, singing jazz music in a seedy Hollywood, like 1940s, 50s bar. How can you not love her? She's having the time of her life being like a man-eater character, and like the love of her life, her husband, is just this guy who makes her laugh, and he's a goofy little fella, and she's in love with no one and no one else. I love her. And like, obviously the iconic line, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." She struggles with like the whole blackmailing thing, and like that was prevalent in Hollywood and is still prevalent in Hollywood, and like tackling those issues and like just being herself. And she's okay to like lean into the whole like sex appeal thing because she's comfortable with it, and that's like part of who she is. She knows it's how she was drawn, she might as well lean into it, so she's not afraid to lean into it. But on some occasions you'll like see her with like a very strong expression that might not be the most becoming of her, because at the end of the day she's a cartoon living in the human world. She'll have expressions like that, and she's like, I love her. She has left a very, very lasting impression on me, and I can't adore her enough. So she's on the list. Love her, love her, love her, love her, love her. I love Jessica Rabbit. And last but not least, our very last character of favorite character bingo, spot number 24 is Rilakuma! Guys, Gudetama is my favorite. My second favorite is Rilakuma. Rilakuma is so cute. I love him so much. He's just a little bear. He's just a little guy. I think he's so cute. So, I used to have a lot more stuff with Rilakuma, but because of moving stuff and like the situations in the past, blah blah blah, I don't have all the old Rilakuma stuff that I used to have. But I love him. I love him so much. I know the most popular Sanrio character is Hello Kitty. Everybody thinks of Hello Kitty first when they think of Sanrio characters. But I don't know why. The shade of yellow that they pick for their Sanrio characters, both Rilakuma and Gudetama, are just such nice shades that I feel very, very like attracted to it. Because sometimes with some like Hello Kitty designs, for me personally, it can be a hit or a miss depending on the color. But with Gudetama and with Rilakuma, because of like their color schemes, and like just like the general like merchandise that they make of them, for me Hello Kitty can be a lot more cutesy and like with the bows and ribbons and like cute stuff, and I do love it. But for some reason in my mind, and with the way that the merchandise works for Rilakuma and with Gudetama, it feels very homey. It feels very cozy and warm, and like there's things with like honey and kitchen stuff and candles and blankets, and it just feels warm and cozy, and I love it so much. So I adore Rilakuma almost as much as I love Gudetama. I just think Gudetama's a lot cuter because he's an egg and I love eggs. So with that, we have filled out my favorite character bingo sheet. A lot of these I feel like people know. A lot of them are also like a lot more tucked away, a lot more hidden. But this is my final sheet! I don't know how many of you guys are actually playing along at home. If you got a bingo for any one of like the combination of characters that I have, if you do get a bingo, you should definitely tweet it at me so I can see it on my Twitter account at Koumori. If you guys somehow manage to also get a bingo, it's more just for fun though, just to show off all my favorite characters so you guys can take a look, get to see whoever it is all my favorite characters are. It actually took me a while, and I feel like I'm still missing like a couple other core favorite characters that I would consider. Like I was going back and forth between Elias from The Ancient Magus Bride, who is also one of my favorites, but I think Kim Kitsuragi edged it out a little bit, just because Disco Elysium has been a more recent love of mine, and The Ancient Magus Bride is definitely a little bit more dated for me, personally. Although I did hear that it's getting another season soon, which is really cool, and I don't know where they're gonna go with it, considering how everything with Cartaphilus left off the last time at the end of season 2, so I don't know how that'll go, but we'll see how it goes later. But that's all that I prepped for you guys. Let's see. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I am planning on trying Stardew Valley again, now that I understand how latency works and you guys can actually get to watch me play it. And I have to figure out the schedule for this upcoming week. I am planning something with one of my friends, so I need to figure out how timing stuff is going to work with that. And yeah. So that will be all for today. Thank you so much for everybody who came out into chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I know LBB, if you're still here, thank you so much for being here. I do really, really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I will get my stream set up tomorrow as soon as I can. I'll probably tweet about it in the morning. I won't set up the waiting room as long as I set it up for this one, since this one was in the afternoon. But yeah. If you guys are looking for me, you can always find me on my Twitter account. I'll tweet whenever I find the time to. And I will see you guys again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for some Stardew Valley. I hope everybody has a good day, a good night, whatever it might be, wherever you are, and I will see you later. Bye, guys! Bye, everyone! I'll see you later. Bye!